faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Man, what a night. What a night, faithful. What an incredible game that was. My guest, we just had discussions about this game, and I think he said it perfectly. This game was a microcosm of Jimmy G's entire season, the ups, the downs. I know a lot of people were saying bench Jimmy, but man, Jimmy came through. Jennings came through. Mitchell, Debo, a lot of players came through. But I do have a special guest with me tonight. He goes by the name of Keltz Chronicles. You can check out all his social media. All his links are in the description of this video. He's got YouTube, IG, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you check him out. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber, diehard 49er fan. Let's bring in Mr. Keltz Chronicles. What's good? Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Man, thank you for having me, Jay. Man, what a game. We rose above. We got the victory. Oh, I'm stressed out, though. I'm stressed from that game, man. My God. You know I've seen you in the past, man, with the umbrella, on some of your
don't need it tonight, man.
Man, I started having, man, I was getting a little unfaithful. I started having visions. I started having visions of having to pull the umbrella out. But, hey, we did it. We did it. Hey, I brought the umbrella and I'm about to toss it.
Hey, we don't need it.
I'm about to toss it to my punching bag right now.
Yeah, we don't need it tonight. But no, you said it. You said it best. Unfaithful. A lot of me myself included. I started to become a little unfaithful. I started to not believe that the 49ers were still in this game just a little bit. But I thought we got great momentum. At the end of the first half, Jimmy G and the offense drove down, got a field goal, and then we got the ball, at the beginning of the second half. So I thought, hey, we can still turn this thing around. And let's be real, the defense did us some favors. Like we give up the third down conversions. We gave up a lot of yards, but we held them to 2 field goals. The Rams easily could have been up 28-0 or 28-3 by the end of the first half. But fortunately, the defense, they kept us into the game.
Absolutely. I thought the defense did great, man. Of course, the absence of K'Wan Williams, it was obvious. Dante Johnson, he's a little bit, taller than Cooper Kupp. So you see the shiftiness of Cooper Kupp was really, Stafford and Cooper Kupp was dicing us up on third down. I felt like from the get, it's almost like the Rams took a playbook out of our play sheet and was having those long drives and was just dicing us up on third down. And then so that was my biggest thing was like, man, we got to do something about Dante Johnson. And I think D'Amico Ryans is probably should be one of the MVPs of this game, that could go, unnoticed for blitzing in the second half, man. That was a great adjustment for sure, blitzing on third down.
Absolutely. And for those that are in the chat, if you are happy about this 49er victory that launched us into the playoffs, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. Also, check out Keltz Chronicles on YouTube. And shout out to everyone watching Jay in the Bay YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. This show is nothing without the people in the chat. So we got to say what's good to all the people who are in the chat right now. Payo time. LA Rams fan, man, I appreciate you for coming through. You didn't have to. He says, good game. Good luck to the Niners in the playoffs. Thanks for being my halftime guest, Jay. Absolutely, man. Speaking of missing acts or disappearances, man, Trent Williams, when did you hear about the news that Trent Williams was not going to be active in this game?
Man, I think I possibly could have heard it on your show before the game.
Okay. Yeah, because I literally found out live. I was just looking at my phone. I was like, hey, I haven't heard anything about Trent Williams. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, man, I know he didn't practice all week. And, I was just hoping he would just suit up because he's a vet. But, man, Colton McKivitz, I was surprised he got the start. And Tom Compton, basically the entire offensive line, they did pretty well in pass protection. Jimmy G was pretty much clean for majority of the game. I mean, I think they held their own for the situation they're in, going up against an elite defensive line like the LA Rams have. What do you think about their performance?
I thought they did great, man. Like we were talking about before we started the show was, I took a look at some of the stats, and I'm pretty sure we got 13 quarterback hits, and they got, I believe it was 5, or they got 6 quarterback hits. We got our 5 sacks.
Okay.
They got 3 sacks on us, but I mean, to only get hit 6 times, that's a pretty clean pocket versus a pass rush like the Rams, man. So I thought, hey, man, McKivitz, man, give props to him. The whole O-line.
They played pretty well. They played pretty clean. I don't think you could really ask them to play a better game, especially in like that playoffs atmosphere in SoFi Stadium, going up against the likes of Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller. Von Miller, he was due for one, man. Honestly, I thought he would be more of a factor in this game, but he had 1 sack, and I think he had a tackle for loss or something. But I thought he would do a little bit more. But props to the 49ers offensive line, and hopefully Trent Williams will be available when we play the Cowboys next week in the first round of the playoffs. And 49ers and Cowboys, man, what a rivalry! The rivalry will be renewed in Dallas, so definitely looking forward to that game.
Man, the last time we faced them in the NFC Championship in 1994, we won a Super Bowl that year.
Yep.
2 NFC Championship games that we've beaten versus the Cowboys. We've won Super Bowls those years. And,
wow.
The first one was, the catch with Dwight Clark. That's when the tables turned. That's when our dynasty started. Just to give a little bit of history, I believe Dallas owns the record on us 5-2 in the playoffs, all the way back in the 70s. We faced Dallas in the NFC Championship 1970, 1971. Those are years a lot of us probably, don't really pay attention to too much. But so there was a lot of buildup to that 1981 season. And that's why it was so huge, and we won the Super Bowl that year. They got us on a couple of times in the mid-90s, 92, I believe, 93. And then we finally got them back in 94, man, and rode it all the way to a Super Bowl. So it's a historic battle for sure, man, through the 70s, 80s, 90s. So it's beautiful to be facing this kind of a team in the playoffs, man. Let's go.
Absolutely. The rivalry will be renewed. And I don't remember the last time we played the Cowboys in the playoffs beside the 94 and then the other Super Bowl year, the 89. I don't remember. So it's been quite a while. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that game. But gotta say, what's good to Manuel Martinez? Thanks for tuning into the stream. Manuel says, what it do, Jay? Hell of a game. It was definitely a roller coaster game. What a tale of 2 halves. A lot of people's faith in the Niners was tested today. That's for sure. That is for sure. Roberto is in the building. What's good? I know you always had faith, Roberto. I know you always knew the Niners would pull this thing through, even though we were down 17-3 at the end of the first half, man. David is in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, David. Hope all is well. About that first half, let's dive into it. Why do you think the Rams got that big lead on the Niners? And let me know your thoughts on that.
I mean, I think first, it was Jimmy G's first game back. So, of course, there was going to be almost kind of like Trey Lance, his first game playing after so long. You don't play the week before and you have a good week off, even though he practiced throughout this week. Yeah. It showed. Who knows how much the thumb was really bothering him. But, I wrote down some notes throughout the first half, and I wrote several times, Jimmy G's hesitating, Jimmy G's hesitating, Stafford goes on a long drive, he's converting third downs. to Cooper Kupp. So I think the long drive, the time of possession wasn't giving us a chance to get into a rhythm. And then Jimmy G on top of it was already needed to try to get back into rhythm from having a week off. So it was a multitude of things, man. Our defense showed up. Dante Johnson, he had troubles with Cooper Kupp. That's a tough task to handle. So it was a multitude of things. Like I said, I feel like the Rams took a page out of our book and they just dominated the time of possession, third downs. We couldn't get in a rhythm. Our defense did do well, though, besides Johnson. And, hey, the crowd was on our side. The faithful showed up in LA, because that's another thing I wrote down, that, the presence was immediately known from I think they had got a false start or something like that on offense,
on the first drive, I think.
Yep. So there was a few things that, they just dominated and controlled us in the beginning.
Absolutely. Jag, I appreciate the donation to the Jay in the Bay YouTube channel. Jag says, what's good, Jay in the Bay and Keltz? All the team played their hearts out when we were losing and Shanahan was being roasted. Give him mad props. Absolutely, Jag. You're absolutely right. This team is very, very resilient. Down 17-3, and you could say a hostile environment in SoFi Stadium, and just continue to fight. This was a 12-round boxing match that turned into 16 rounds. Like this team continued to fight. You have to love and respect that as a 49er fan. And just honestly, I was just amazed, just as being a football fan. Just this is a hell of a game. It's unfortunate that one team has to lose, but man, this was just a hell of a game to watch and be a part of. But also, the Rams, they did a good job in the first half in stopping us on the early downs. Like, we really didn't have much positive yards on early downs, which forced us into like third and longs. And that's usually not a recipe for success. And that's why we had so many 3 and outs and the offense couldn't really get into the rhythm. You also bring up a great point, Keltz, that people may not even really think about. And honestly, I didn't think about this. Jimmy had a week off. He was a little rusty. You have to, give him some leeway for that. He was rusty. Obviously, he had that terrible interception. I think McKivitz allowed some pressure, but Jimmy wasn't able to really put his body into the throw, which he shouldn't have thrown. But that's Jimmy. That's Jimmy. That's the low point of Jimmy. And the high point is, hey, he'll lead you down the field at the end of the first half. He'll lead you down the field at the fourth quarter to tie the game, to move the game into overtime. He'll move the offense down the field in overtime and lead us to victory. Like, so it's like, what gives with this guy? Like, you don't know which guy you're gonna get.
Man, I know I wrote down when Jimmy fumbled, I said, there he goes again. There he goes again, man. Like, oh man, what's that?
I said, was that because of the thumb? Is that why he dropped that
ball?
No,
that's just hey. His thumb could be 100%, man, and that's just Jimmy. He does those things, man. When pressure is coming in, he gets a little out of sorts and a little rattled, man. And sometimes, when it rains, it pours with Jimmy. So we seen it in the first half, man. And that it's crazy because it's like there were some passes that were just behind, and just some of those that he shouldn't have thrown. And I think on the long one, just kind of a wobbler.
Yeah.
And then he'll come through and make some, like later on in the game when he kind of split it to Debo. He kind of put some, I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of Garoppolo, but it's kind of like, hey, if you don't know what to make of Garoppolo after, 4 years?
Yeah.
4 or 5 years. I don't want to get on a negative hype, but it's like, if you don't know what to make of him, I mean, that's the answer for you right there, man.
Right. Just like with him being injury prone, that's kind of his play. He for all the good things he does, he'll do some bad things, interceptions, high throws, throwing behind the receiver. He'll do all those things as well. And we saw this all in one game, but this is what Jimmy has done, since his tenure with the 49ers. So,
and then
this is why we drafted Trey Lance, though.
And then he goes and, what is it? What was it? An 81-yard drive? Well, with a minute, 30 seconds. And then he goes and then he goes and has like a Joe Montana drive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then hits Jennings and, I was super nervous, man. And my wife is sitting next to me watching the game. My wife had to come at me and be faithful. My wife is like, hey, watch, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And she was almost in tears when Jennings caught that touchdown to tie it up, man. So it's like, we literally got to see it all, from Jimmy. I kind of looked at it like, I kept on going back and forth through the game. Like, we shouldn't even be in this position. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of it, I was like, hey, he got us. Or it felt like the run game and the defense and DeMeco Ryans making an adjustment. But then Kyle Shanahan, got to give him props too. He made an adjustment, especially when we had that long drive, man. I wrote it down. We had that drive where it was just like, what was it, 10 straight runs?
Yeah, that was in the I think that was in the beginning of the third quarter. And credit to Shanahan, he didn't abandon the run. He still stuck with the run, even though we were down 17-3 in the third quarter. So give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me turn that off. Sorry about that. Let me turn that off. But you mentioned Jauan Jennings. Now, Jauan Jennings had an incredible game. I'm going to pull up his stats in 1 second, but don't want to get too behind in the comments. Niner Faithful says that game was so depressing to watch in the first half, but that second half took 3 years off of my life. Playoffs, here we come.
Man, I feel it, man. I had to take some Excedrin and everything.
We feel the same way, man. Niner Faithful also says we still own the Rams 6-0. Man, we still – I know the Rams fans are obviously really ticked off due to that game, but man, it was a hell of a game. It's unfortunate the team had to lose. Can you imagine if we would have lost that game? I mean, that's a thriller of a game to lose. It's very unfortunate for the Rams, but obviously I'm glad we got the win and we're in the playoffs. Niner Faithful says 2 picks, Ambry and E-Man look like a fun cornerback duo to watch for the future. Absolutely. Ambry Thomas. I was a little surprised he started. I know he's been playing well as of late, the last few games, but I don't know, this coaching staff has been so hell-bent on starting Josh Norman that's kind of what I expected. But I saw Josh Norman, but he was on special teams. He didn't really I don't think he got any defensive snaps. So obviously bright future for the cornerback room and Ambry, E-Man, and also Lenore. Gotta say what's good to Jesus. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says saludos. Jesus also says Rams were soft. Rams punched themselves out going for KO in first half. I think momentum shifts. The Rams relaxed a little bit, and the Niners had a lot to prove. And the Niners still continued to fight. But speaking of Jauan Jennings, though, I want to pull up his stats real quick. Can you see that, Keltz? Do I need the
no, I got it right. I got it right here too in front of me.
Okay. So Jennings, he had 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, man, that's an incredible performance in a playoff must-win game, man. That incredible performance. What were your thoughts on Jennings? Were you expecting this type of performance from him?
Man, you know what? I did not think about Jennings too much, but he has been super clutch for us, man. And then, I think I'm pretty sure it was in overtime when he made that catch, and I just seen the way that he was trying. I was just like thinking about nothing but heart. Like, that man is showing some heart right now. Like, let's get it, and then thank God he held on to the pass from Debo, because he had so much time and he was so wide open. He had a chance to peek over to peek. And then from him peeking, it kind of, once you take your eye off the ball for a second, sometimes it's hard to regroup. And, thank God he held on to that, held on to the pass from Debo, held on to the tying, score to go into overtime. And then he has that huge catch, in overtime. Just beautiful, man. Beautiful. Hey, thank God they did not go to Sanu, because that was kind of a thing that, and I guess Kyle Shanahan said, hey, Jennings has been playing so well, so thank God he didn't make that move for sure.
Yeah, and let's be real, Jennings is the future. Mohamed Sanu, hey, his best days are behind him, but Jennings is the future, or excuse me, Jennings is the present and the near future right now. But he balled out. 7 targets, 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had an excellent game. He definitely rose to the occasion. Also, you can't forget about the Ayuk show. Brandon Ayuk led the team in catches, 6 catches, 107 yards. Also, of course, Debo brought in 4 catches, 95 yards. So they got contributions from some of their best players. Kittle, I don't know what it was, whether it's the Rams defense really focused in on Kittle. So Kittle, that's why he didn't really have a huge game. But fortunately, other players picked up the slack.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, another thing about Debo as well, man, it's my God, man. That man was just putting his whole heart on the line for this one, man. Several times, he had to, go to the bench, man. He was giving it his all, but
he needed some oxygen.
Yeah, I had flashbacks of Cordell Stewart. I don't know if you remember Flash.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, man, is this going to be, one of those first games? I don't know how many times it's happened. I'm sure it has happened, but to catch a touchdown, run a touchdown, and throw a touchdown, he didn't make a touchdown catch, but it was just, hey, when Debo made that pass, I was like, we got our quarterback.
I was not expecting that razzle-dazzle play from Shanahan. And Jennings was wide open. Jennings was wide open, man.
Amazing job by Kyle Shanahan. I think we ran it was 10 or 11 straight times. And it was it was Mitchell with a run, then I think Mitchell with another one, Hasty with the run, then Debo with a run, Debo with the run, Mitchell with another run, Mitchell with the run, then Jimmy got that quarterback sneak to get that first, and then Mitchell with the run. I believe it was Mitchell with the run, and then Debo throws the touchdown pass. It was just like that, man, that drive was the drive.
It got us back in the game.
He brought back like 1950s football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? Hey, I wonder what the stat is on that. When was the last time there's been 10, 11 straight runs and then a wide receiver throws a touchdown pass?
Yeah, that's got to be rare.
That's that one moment where it's like the mastermind of Kyle Shanahan. It's like, hey, you did that, man. You did that one. And then I was kind of thinking to myself, like, the run game and the defense and the way we're starting to pressure Stafford, that's what brought us back in the game. So it's like, it was kind of bittersweet. Like, are we going to continue to, versus a little bit better of a team when the stakes get higher? It's like, what are we going to do with Garoppolo? It's like, hey, props to Garoppolo. He was a part of the win, but he for sure was not the major factor of the win. But props to him still, regardless. I honestly feel like we wouldn't have been in that kind of a hole with Trey Lance, but that's just me.
We'll never know.
We will never know, man.
We'll never know. I gotta say, what's good to NYCE? Thanks for tuning into the stream. He says, what a great team win. You know what our record is, 0-0. He says it's all gas now for the playoffs. Hey, I feel you.
Let's get it.
Luke Luna, what's good? Luke Luna says Jimmy played with guts. I'm so happy for Jennings, and this team hands the Rams their first loss when they are ahead at half. Yeah, that was a great stat. Rams had pressure at the start of the game. I think there was a stat where McVay was undefeated in games where the Rams were leading at halftime. I think that was a stat I had heard. So, hey, man, Not records are meant to be broken. Nothing lasts forever. John, what's good? John says, once we established the run, we imposed our will and played smash mouth football. And I think that's the way we're going to win games. Run the ball, get after your quarterback, sack them, and win at the point of attack. I think that's what it all comes down to. Now we were talking about Debo. Now Debo, Swiss Army knife, can do it all, jack of all trades. He had 8 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown. His longest run was 16 yards, and then he also added in 4 catches, 95 yards. So Debo he can do everything on the field, man. What a treat that we have in Debo Samuel, and hopefully he stays in the red and gold for years to come, man. What do you think about Debo?
Man, I think you just said it all, but it's like, man, he is our, who was it? I believe it was Reggie Jackson, baseball player way back in the day, man. They used to call him Mr. October because he hit like 3 home runs in a row for the Yankees back in the 70s. But they used to describe him as the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I look at Debo that same way. He is the straw that stirs up the whole 49ers team. He is our engine. He is proven, if he stays healthy, I mean, Debo's a straight up boss. He comes with heart. He comes with that energy. He comes, he's Debo. Like, when Debo come rolling up on the bike, man, you better you better not just tuck the chain, because he's going to see that chain under there. If you tuck it, he's still going to snatch it out.
He'll find it.
He's going to find your chain, man. So it's like, hey, he's the boss, man. He's a shorter dude, so he's a little thicker built. So he's built for this.
And he doesn't go down after the first tackler. He can avoid the first tackler, but he won't mind running through him. And it takes a few guys to bring him down, man. He is tough to bring down. I got to respond to Jag's super chat here. He says, since Sean McVay took over the Rams were 45-0 when leading at halftime. Now they're 45-1. Wow. Let's go Niners, man. Hey, I appreciate that. Also, Luke Luna says, love through struggles. They're ready now. Okay. And hey, man, I appreciate those super chats. Appreciate those comments. But yeah, man, what a hell of a game. Let's see. Hey, Zeus, I thought Jalen Moore was going to start at left tackle as well. That's my mistake. But Colton McKivitz played well in Trent Williams' absence. We'll have to monitor Trent Williams' status as the week progresses. We got the Remilia Sports Report in the building. What's good? He says, congrats, my Niner brother at Jay and the Bay. You guys are in the playoffs, and we're NFC West Division champs. We got to lick our wounds to get ready for a home playoff game versus the AZ Cardinals. Good luck. All right. Yeah, that's going to be interesting game between 2 division rivals. I didn't ask you this before the show, but just your opinion. Quick synopsis. What do you think? The Rams and Cardinals. Who do you think is going to win that game next week?
Man. You know what? I'm going to say Cardinals.
Okay.
My bad Rams fans, but you know what? Not my bad. Beat LA.
You know what's funny? The Cards. This is the first time they've been to the playoffs under Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, and also with the Rams, Matt Stafford has never won a playoff game. So, what gives? We'll have to see. What gives in that game. We got Corey Davis in the building. What's good? Yep, we got them good old Dallas Cowboys next week. Looking forward to the game. We also have Lauren Elise Keltz. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Appreciate the support. Lauren says that game was so crazy. That first half was rough, but man, that comeback was like a scene from Remember the Titans. What a hell of a movie.
Yeah, it was.
Hell of a movie. But man, that's what being faithful is all about, man. That's what it's all about. Still believing in the team, and the team, this was, like I said, it was a 16-round boxing match. The 49ers never gave up, and you got to love that as a fan. They laid it all out on the line. Let's see who else. Let's see. What were your thoughts? Well, let's talk about this. The special teams. Do the special teams stand out to you today? And if so, let me know.
100%, man. I mean, you know, I said my X factor would be Kyle Juszczyk.
You did say that, yes.
And I did not know it would come to holding, to being a holder for field goals.
Yeah.
But we've seen in the past how special teams can be, that forgotten factor that could win or lose a game. I mean, look what happened versus Seattle, on a fake punt, or fumbling kickoffs, or, fumbling a punt return. But Robbie Gould got to get a lot of credit. That man was 5 for 5 on kicks, 3 extra points, I believe. Maybe a short field goal, but then a 40-something yarder. So 2 for 2 on field goals. And then he had 2 punts where, I think he punted a 50-yarder or 47-yarder and then another 45-yarder, but those moments matter. Like Robbie Gould could have easily got nervous and shanked a punt. He could have fumbled a snap. Same with Kyle Juszczyk. It looks like it's something that you're not going to hear too many people talk about, but amazing job special teams. We didn't have no turnovers. We didn't cough the ball up. We made all our kicks, all of our holds and snaps were – it was, it goes underrated. It's like that part of the game don't matter,
unless they mess up.
Unless they mess up. Yeah, but hey, big props to Gould, Kyle Juszczyk. Sorry to Mitch Wisnowski for getting rocked.
Mitch, get down. Mitch, get down. I mean, I know he's made some tackles. He's made some tackles on special teams, but on that play, he got rocked, and I knew after that he wasn't going to be in the game.
Hey, wasn't it like Sean Taylor way back in the day?
Oh yeah, the Pro Bowl.
Okay.
Woo, man. Yeah, Mitch, get down, man. We need you to punt. But I was surprised when I think at the beginning of the game, Robbie Gould was kicking off, I believe. Now, throughout the regular season, Mitch Wisnowski, the punter, he was doing basically all the kickoffs. So not sure why Robbie Gould was doing the kickoffs, but I mean, he did well. And as you mentioned, he made his kicks, and hey, he was able to punt the ball unexpectedly due to Mitch Wisnowski getting rocked. So Robbie Gould, he probably won't get much credit, but hey, he had a pretty good game. And shout out to the special teams coordinator and the special team players; they did pretty well today.
Hey, one thing I will say about Wisnowski, nice heart, bro. Nice way to put it on the line, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we appreciate it. We got KD. I appreciate that $5 super chat. KD says, "Are we going to be able to run the ball against them good old Cowboys?" What are your thoughts, Keltz? I'll go after you.
Man, I think we're going to be able to run it. It seems like teams are really, really good at things until they face us. I don't know what it is, but it seems like, oh, well, look what the Cowboys been doing. Look what this team's been doing. It feels like another point, too, is I feel like, it feels like whenever other teams are running the ball well, they come versus us, and it's like, it's a different story. It's just a different story when you face the 49ers. We play with a lot of heart. You could see it from, Mitchell running the ball, Jennings not trying to go down, Debo's definitely not trying to go down, Kittle, Shanahan, the way he draws up some of those play calls. I do appreciate how Shanahan, he kept on doing that toss where he brought someone in motion, and then it was kind of like, I'm not the best with what play calls are, but I guess you would call it a power toss. But he kept running it. He kept running it. He was like, you know what? It's working. I'm going to keep pounding it. They might stop us for a little bit of time, but after a while, it's going to start working, and you're going to get broke down. And Kyle Shanahan has proved that it doesn't matter what situation. He's going to keep on running it until it works, or keep running it, when it does work, he'll keep doing it as well. So I feel like Man, I feel like we can do whatever we want, really, besides, we'll see what happens, with Garoppolo again. Hopefully Garoppolo just doesn't turn the ball over, man, and it could be – I always feel like we could dominate any team when we're playing our A game. I'll say.
Hey, I like that, and I echo your sentiments. The Cowboys, I just looked it up. They allow about 112 yards average per game this season. I would have to double check to see what they've allowed over the past, 3 to 4 games. But let's be real. This 49ers run game is different. This is not your average run game. We have a wide receiver who runs the ball. We got Elijah Mitchell. I don't know about you. I want to see Jeff Wilson Jr. more. I don't know why Shanahan does not want to use Jeff Wilson Jr. It seems like when Mitchell is healthy, he's got the hot hand. He just wants to stick with Mitchell. But, Mitchell has shown he's banged up this year. Why not give Jeff Wilson Jr. more carries? I wish we could see that. But, I like our chances going up against this Cowboys front. Micah Parsons, though, he's definitely going to be a player to watch out for on the Cowboys. But great question, KD. I think we will be able to run the ball. I think we're going to have to because that's Shanahan's game plan. That's Shanahan's bread and butter. So, great question, though. Kimbo, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Kimbo says, hi, let's go. 49ers fan for life. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. We got owner and GM Coach Roney. What's good? Thanks for tuning in. Coach Roney is an Atlanta Falcons fan. Shout out to Big Low Country. Coach Roney says, thanks for putting the Saints out of the playoffs from a loyal Falcons fan. Hey, of course. I'm glad we could help. Luke Luna says, quick decisions negated the pressure from their D-line. That's why Kyle wanted Jimmy back there, so he had his playbook, and so everything could be done quick off the run. What a fight. Question for you, Keltz. After watching Jimmy G's performance tonight, does that give you confidence in Jimmy, or no, does that give you confidence in Shanahan trusting Jimmy to be quarterback, to start at the quarterback position?
Oh, man, hey, coming from me, this would be a different answer.
Please, I already know how you feel, but then let other people know.
But if I were to try to be Kyle Shanahan right now and think about how he looks at Garoppolo, my Lord, he's probably saying, you know what? He is a dog. He is a fighter. This man single-handedly won the game for us. I'm just kidding.
Tough as nails.
Props to Garoppolo, to be honest. You know what? I was super frustrated. But, he overcame his mistakes. He made some big-time throws when it mattered. He also made some not-so-good of throws in crucial moments as well. I think Kyle Shanahan has full confidence in Garoppolo right about now. I would, I'm not a coach. I'm not in the organization, but you already know I would go trade area to the fullest, rookie or not. I feel like we would have been in a little bit better of position. We will never know. But, hey, we got the victory, so I'm happy, man. That's all I can really say about it, to be honest. Hey, we were down 17 points, man. I know the run game, Debo, and the defense, the pass rush had a lot to do with it, but Jimmy had a part to do with it as well. It was the second best comeback in the whole entire NFL this whole year. So, I mean, that's special, man. So.
And this is the conundrum that is Jimmy G. You don't know what you're going to get, and obviously that's a huge problem, but clearly Shanahan trusts Jimmy G. And when he performs well, I see why we trust Jimmy G, or I should say I see why Shanahan trusts Jimmy G. But obviously he'll have some hiccups. And fortunately tonight we were able to overcome those, because in the regular season when Jimmy G threw 2 INTs, I think we might have won 1 game, in the regular season. So this was kind of I guess you could say, I wouldn't say a fluke, but I would just say when Jimmy puts us in bad positions, usually we can't overcome them. And today, unfortunately, we were able to overcome them, specifically due to the running game, Jimmy made some good throws, and then his defense was all over Matt Stafford.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's we kind of matched up. Jimmy G's 2 interceptions, but then Matthew Stafford had 2 interceptions.
Yep.
So it evened out.
Right.
So that's, so it evened itself out. But we're going to probably wind up, if we can make it past Dallas or even versus Dallas, you're going to wind up facing a quarterback that's not going to make those same 2 mistakes. So it evened out versus the Rams. But when the competition gets, not taking anything away from the Rams, but we play them very well. We match up versus them very well. Now, when we face a team that we don't match up versus as well, you're going to have to be on point. There's going to come a point to where our defense and our run game is not going to be able to overcome every obstacle. So it's going to have to be, we'll see. Hey, I got faith. I got hope. I believe we can win a Super Bowl with Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo. It's just with Garoppolo, almost everything has to go perfect.
Right.
It is possible, and we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, man, great points. And make sure, for those that have not yet checked out Keltz Chronicles, make sure you check him out on his social media. All his social media links are in the description of this video. Give him a subscribe on YouTube. Check him out, IG, Twitter, Facebook. We appreciate the support. And got to say, what's good, Toledo? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. You were in the pregame stream as well. Thanks for tuning back in for the postgame. He says, how about them Niners? Man, hell of a game. Hey, NYCE brings up a great point. I want to ask you about this as well, Keltz, if you saw that play. But NYCE says these refs and their calls really gave the Rams the lead. Jimmy got hit in the helmet, no call. Then Kupp clearly was holding on that run, but there were a few questionable calls. Do you recall the play that NYCE is referencing with Jimmy G? I think it was on the interception to Jalen Ramsey, I think. And he got hit in the head. Do you remember that play?
Yeah, that was the play where, regardless, it still probably wasn't the best decision. Regardless of not getting, we should have got that call.
Yeah.
And at the same time, regardless of not getting the call, it still wasn't the best decision. You know what I'm saying? It's like, great play by Ramsey, bad decision by Garoppolo, bad call by the refs. But the very next drive, I think Greenlaw did something where it's almost like they gave us that call back.
Right.
But
there was a face mask on Greenlaw on the running back. He grabbed the face mask. But speaking of Greenlaw, man, I don't know how you felt about Greenlaw, but he flashed to me. He was all over the field. I know he had a few penalties. We were able to overcome them, but he was very aggressive all over the field. And it was great to have Greenlaw back. What were your thoughts on Greenlaw's performance?
Absolutely. Great to come back and play that kind of a way from, how many weeks was he gone? I don't know.
This was only his 3rd game that he played this year because he got hurt. I think in week 1 or week 2, he was out for about 6 to 8 weeks due to the surgery. He came back 1 game, re-injured, and then this is his 1st game back. And I just looked at his stats. Dre Greenlaw led the team in tackles. He had 12 total tackles. The man was all over the field. And he was definitely a difference maker in this game, just bringing that physical presence to the game.
And that might have been the tone setter. I think it was the first drive that the Rams had in the second half. And, I was like, hey, DeMeco Ryans, you got to make an adjustment for Johnson. And so I seen DeMeco Ryans, he started blitzing on 3rd down because that's when Stafford was dicing us up, was on 3rd down. Yeah. So I think the first blitz that we did was with Greenlaw, and I don't think he got credit for a half a sack. I thought he got the sack, but it was like, hey, I think that was the momentum shift when he blitzed Greenlaw on that 3rd down, because I think we got a touchdown and then immediately got a 3-and-out versus them. And then after that blitz, I believe that's when we did, the 10 runs in a row. So man, we just snatched the momentum up, man, and it was beautiful, man, for sure. Greenlaw, heck of a game, without a doubt. Ambry Thomas, man, what a way to end it with Ambry. Man, there was a lot of good, just a lot of good plays, man, from a lot of good players. Greenlaw stood out. Armstead, 2.5 sacks. DJ Jones got a sack. Arden Key got a half a sack. Warner got it. And then the next drive on third down, Warner kind of took the place of Greenlaw and came with that same blitz.
Yeah.
So it's like every third down, man, it's like I was like, yes, there's the adjustment. D'Amico Ryans should definitely get some big props for this game, along with the special teams. Greenlaw, Armstead, the whole front seven did an amazing job. Our offensive line, that might go underrated. McKivitz, Mitchell was huge.
Yeah.
Man, it was beautiful, man. What a beautiful team. What a way to fight, man. What a way to fight. I mean, that game, like I said in the beginning, was like the whole season wrapped into one game.
Right. Right. And you talk about setting the tone. I think that was Greenlaw who hit Jefferson, and Jefferson had to come out of the game, and I think that was Greenlaw's first penalty, but it kind of set the tone. Like, this is a physical game. It's a division game, and you're gonna have to earn this victory. Niner Faithful says Stafford said it was a tough environment to play in after the game. Meanwhile, they were at home. Good job, Faithful. Yeah, I mean, Stafford, it's crazy how the two halves were so different. Stafford looked very comfortable in the first half. I think he only had one incompletion in the first half, and it seemed like in the second half, he just did not look comfortable. He was throwing way before he wanted to. Balls were just dropping on the ground, like in front of the receiver. So, man, this 49ers defense played lights out today. Luke Luna says, if you guys haven't watched the post-game show by Whitney, Staley, and Spikes, you got to those dudes were inspired, and you have to hear them speak on Jimmy, man. It's good to hear players show love. I mean, how could you not be inspired by Jimmy's performance? A wise person once said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And yeah, Jimmy G looked terrible in the first half. He started to play a little bit better in that last drive in the first half, and then he continued to play pretty well in the second half. I'm just glad we were able to get a win, because you can imagine if we would have lost this game, we're all blaming Jimmy and Shanahan. That's for sure. Lauren says Jennings, Thomas, and Debo tonight were on fire. Absolutely. David says Debo was snatching chains. Absolutely. Okay. David, what's good? I agree with you, man. Great comeback. Glad to, be a part of that game. And just as a football fan in general, that was just a hell of a game to watch, back and forth. And we got a treat for an overtime game. So that it was, you can't ask for a better game.
Hey, to give Jimmy his props, though, again, I got, it's always frustrating with him. I'm not calling Jimmy G Montana. But if you go back, I believe it was versus, the Bengals in maybe the 84 Super Bowl, where he had it reminded me a little bit of Joe Montana in that Super Bowl versus the Bengals, where he hit John Taylor. It was super reminiscent on how he hit Juwan Jennings, man. And just, I think even the yardage of the drive was very similar, man. So, that's the biggest props I could ever give Garoppolo. He did have he did have a Montana moment. He had a Montana moment, and, it was beautiful, man.
Absolutely. I mean, he played his best when he needed to. And it seems like Jimmy does that from time to time. He'll play his best when you absolutely need him to. And hey, we needed him, and we're going to need Jimmy and the rest of this 49er roster when we go up to Dallas. I wanted to talk about the 49ers run defense. The Rams, they're not a prolific running team, but they did try to establish the run. They had 27 carries, 64 yards rushing. And we're definitely going to need our run defense to be superior once we play against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. We know they have a two-headed running attack in Ezekiel Elliott and I think his name is Pollard. Yeah. So we're going to need our run defense to be stout. I think ever since Armstead was moved to the middle alongside DJ Jones, this run defense has been much better. I think we're only allowing about 3.2 yards per carry in the last month and a half of the season. So we're going to need that same stellar run defense, in Dallas. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. What a great job, man. We held them to 2.4 yards a rush. And then that was kind of a big talk was Cam Akers, a lot of people, or I heard someone a while back say, I expect him to get maybe 5 carries, there was a lot of talk that, he could maybe do a lot more, but 5 carries for 3 yards, man, just beautiful all the way around. And it's almost amazing to me, I'm looking at the stats over here, and it's almost amazing that Stafford only finished with 238 yards from how on fire he was in the first half. Man, great adjustment by DeMeco Ryans. Great whole team effort on defense, without a doubt. Just a great team win. Great job by, if you take away, a couple of bad throws by Garoppolo, man, we might have dominated this game. If you take away a couple of those mishaps in the first quarter, sometimes that's how football is. It could easily be a 14-point swing just off of not converting 1 3rd down or just off of 1 interception. Sometimes that 1 interception is possibly a 14-point swing. So, it's just oh man, I'm so excited, to be honest, man. Great job. Great win, man.
I can't wait. I can't wait as well, man, for the next game, and very excited about this win. John has a great question. He says, and appreciate that donation, John. He says, with Jimmy's stock going up, can we get a 1st-round pick for him? What do you think, Keltz?
You know what? I think regardless of what Jimmy Garoppolo does, I don't think we're going to get a 1st-round pick for Jimmy. I'm not the most knowledgeable person on trades, and I haven't had Madden football. I haven't had no kind of Madden game, so I don't know about all the salaries and all the free agent stuff. But just to make a guess, I would say, we're probably not going to get a 1st-round pick. Now, if I try to be as optimistic as I possibly could, and let's say Jimmy is the starting quarterback and we win a Super Bowl, maybe that might change a couple of teams' opinion. There might be a couple of desperate teams out there like, hey, all it takes is one desperate team to say, hey, we will give you a few things for Jimmy, so it's possible. But at the same time, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I would be that would be really, really optimistic of the 49er brass to think that we can get a 1st-round pick for Jimmy. I don't see that happening. Now, the more Jimmy continues to win, hey, maybe it starts at, hey, a 4th or 5th round pick for Jimmy. But the more he continues to win, the more he continues to play well in these big moments, hey, maybe that draft stock can go down to a 3rd, maybe down to a 2nd, because there are plenty of teams that will need quarterbacks. You look at Pittsburgh Steelers. You could say the New York Giants, New Orleans Saints. Hey, that's 3 teams right there who could be vying for a quarterback. And the only thing with Jimmy is his price tag. He's making $25 million next year on a 1-year deal. I would imagine that he would have to have a contract extension in place prior to getting traded, so that way his cap number would be significantly less. But I think it starts right now, maybe a 4th or a 5th. But if you have multiple teams that are interested, because we know Russell Wilson may be on the move this year, Aaron Rodgers may be on the move. So
he was
Deshaun Watson.
He was over there whispering, he was over there chopping it up on the Houston Texans game. He was over there. I believe he was talking to the head coach But before the start of the game versus the Houston Texans, he was talking to someone from the Houston Texans. I believe it was the head coach or someone. I know it was somebody important. So
I know the Texans GM used to be with the New England Patriots when Jimmy was there. So there is that connection there. I think I'm not even going to say his name, but I know that he's the new GM of the Texans, and he used to be with the Patriots. So, there's a connection there. The Texans could use a quarterback, obviously. So there will be plenty of teams that would need a quarterback. And hey, if Jimmy continues to play well, he stays healthy, hey, sky's the limit. Gotta say, NYCE says, here's who Jimmy is. He is a quarterback that will play all the way to the end. He's a winner. It might not be pretty, but gotta say, Jimmy is clutch. Wow. You agree with that statement, Keltz? Is Jimmy clutch?
Jimmy is clutch.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, he didn't mince his words. He said Jimmy G is clutch.
Man, Jimmy G is a coin toss when it comes to being clutch. One time he might do it, one time he might not, but he is definitely, I would not consider him being clutch. Was he clutch in this game? For a couple of moments. Yeah. It's everybody has a different perception. Everybody has a different opinion on what clutch is, what clutch isn't. I think he came up clutch versus the Bengals, so I give him props there. But then I look at games like when we lost versus the Cardinals and Colt McCoy came into our building and straight dominated us. He didn't look too clutch there. I look at games.
Hey, Jimmy wasn't playing corner. He wasn't out there tackling, man. Jimmy was looking to the right and he was looking to the left. That's what Jimmy was doing.
Hey, I feel like with how good our defense and run game is, it's a little – I feel like we shouldn't be in the position to have to be clutch sometimes, if that makes sense. I feel like there's a lot of games we could be dominating if we had a little bit better quarterback play. But, I'm not trying to be a hater, man. I love my faithful. I ride for my faithful. But at the same time, to win championships, we do need better quarterback play. I believe that Garoppolo can do that, but he has not shown to do that consistently.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if you can be clutch if you haven't won at the highest level. So Jimmy has not won a Super Bowl. Can you be clutch? Now, I like how you said he's had clutch moments.
Yeah.
And he's excelled, but I wouldn't necessarily call him a clutch player.
Has there been more than a couple of times, or has there even been one signature moment besides the Saints game? I believe was back in 2019.
Arizona. I think Arizona he had a pretty good game in Arizona.
Has there been a good, stretch run where we've seen Jimmy just be that really, really top 5 quarterback for more than just moments? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then even the Saints game that he did have, because that's what a lot of people would like to look back on. They was holding on to that Saints game on how good he was.
That was a shootout, Keltz. You saw it?
Hey, that was amazing. But even the very, very deep pass to, I think, Sanders in that game, it was kind of lucky. It was super underthrown. It was, hey, man, I'm not trying to be a hater and all that, man. But, just he has clutch moments. But, man, I hold my breath, and think about.
Put the haterade down, Keltz. Haterade down.
hey, bro. None of us want to see a repeat of an overthrow in the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, but yeah, Jimmy's not clutch. He played really well in moments, and then also he plays terrible in moments. So yeah, can't say he's clutch, but there's no doubt he played some of his best football today. He made some excellent throws. Hey, Keltz, we are coming up on an hour. How much more time can you spare with the faithful tonight, man?
Man, let's roll. However you want, man. Okay. I'm here.
Let's roll with these comments. We got the Ramilia Sports Report. Obviously, LA Rams fan. He says, awesome game. Rams finally showed up. Niners came back. Rams retook the lead, and it was basically over. Many Niner fans were leaving. Then late fourth, 2 minutes left. McVay didn't try to get a first down. Niners came back. That didn't surprise me. The Rams, they were trying to, run out the clock or whatever, or to burn the Niners 3 timeouts that they had left. That was the safe thing to do, just run the ball. But, I'm glad they did that, but I was kind of surprised because, the Rams were aggressive. They went for it on that fourth down in the goal line, and, Stafford hit Higbee in the end zone for a touchdown. That was an aggressive move. Were you surprised the Rams didn't try to actually win the game during that drive and not just run the clock out?
Yeah, I was a little bit, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. I think there was a part later in that fourth quarter where I lightweight. Man, it's almost a blur, bro. Man, I was so juiced up on just some of the things. It went back and forth so much. I would really have to probably look back at some of the notes I wrote down, man. It was wild.
No it was a wild game. I understand. Like you kind of have to watch it again to see. I mean, it was a long game. Like you really have to go back and watch the highlights and all that stuff. Like it was a really long game. I like what John said here. He said unsung heroes, offensive line, Robbie Gould and Stafford's interceptions. I agree.
Yep.
Dan Castillo, what's good? He says that was a good game. Glad we came out with that big W. Let's go Niners. Absolutely. David says Cowboys turn to get there. They are next on the list. Blue True, what's good? Blue True says, thank God Warner won the coin toss. Heads it is. What a thriller of a game. I always choose tails in that type of situation. What do you use, Keltz? You a heads guy or tails guy?
Heads.
Okay. Yeah, good thing Warner did that. We got the ball, went down. I was glad we I was hoping we would get a touchdown, but I was like, okay, we got the field goal, and hopefully we can slow the Rams down. So, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
John says last time Warner picked tails. This time he wasn't falling for that and picked heads. That's funny.
Okay. He was juiced too about that coin toss, man. Yeah, he was juiced.
Luke Luna, because they had to respect Debo running, looked like all the other plays till he threw the pass. Okay. The Remilia Sports Report says lots of Niner fans at SoFly and Rams fans too. The Remilia was loud because the Niners false start a few times. Very fun, stressful game. Glad running back Cam Akers got carries in the big game after being out. Yeah, and Cam Akers, he tore his Achilles. Usually if you tear your Achilles, you're out at least a year. And he came back, so I think he was only out 6 months. So yeah, hey, glad to see Cam Akers out there. Let's see. NYCE says Debo is the new Bo Jackson. Debo does it all. LOL. We talked about this earlier. Luke Luna says Stafford is used to going home in the first round, and so are the Cardinals. Which team blesses the other to move forward? And I think you said the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting game. The Cardinals, they kind of limped into the playoffs, but I think the Cardinals beat the Rams twice this year, I think. So we'll see. They always say, oh, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, in a season, I guess. But
hey, we might have the most, I know we've been back and forth. We haven't been to the playoffs in consecutive years. You know what I'm saying? So, but out of all the playoff teams in the NFC, we might have, arguably the second most experience, probably behind Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers really hasn't, he's one of the best players in the NFL, but he hasn't really done it consistently. It feels like we got the Green Bay Packers number for whatever reason. I know they got us this year finally after a while, but I'm not nervous facing any team, man. I feel like we can match up with Green Bay, with the Tampa Bay Bucks, with the Dallas Cowboys. I think I would almost rather face one of those three teams, even though on paper they're better, than facing a division rival. To be honest, I don't know. It's just we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm definitely not nervous to face any team in the NFC for sure.
I could understand why you wouldn't be interested in playing a division rival because they know us. And unfortunately we've lost to the Cardinals twice already. They know us really well. So yeah, I don't blame you. I'd rather play another team other than our division rivals. Luke Luna says at Keltz Chronicles, you nailed it with Juice being the offensive X factor. Man, he spotted the holds perfect. That's the pressure cooker moment. Yeah, because Wisnowski usually was the holder, right? And then so hey,
we mess up on one of those field goals. We mess up on one of those situations, and we could be talking about how it could be a whole different conversation. Absolutely.
We got Where You Hiding in the building. What's good? He's an Eagles fan. I think they play the Buccaneers next week, so good luck to your Eagles in that game. NYCE says Mitch didn't even get a helmet-to-helmet call for that hit neither. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I thought early on, I think the first drive for the 49ers, Jalen Ramsey hit Debo. And that, to me, was a helmet-to-helmet hit. But, the refs aren't going to call everything, obviously. So,
hey, you know what? It was a super clean game, except for toward the end, there was a couple of a holding? But I mean, hey, did we get a pass interference?
I don't think so.
I think we've led the league in PIs.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed, I think it was like in the beginning of the fourth, and I was sitting there like, man, this has been a super clean game, with penalties, special teams, and we needed all those. We needed every single thing we could get. So, I mean, super clean game when it comes to the penalties.
I think it was either pass interference or holding. I think it was on Emmanuel Mosley. I think.
Yeah. On the third down too.
Right. I don't think there was any other. And funny, Josh Norman didn't play. And hey, there's not a ton of penalties. Funny how that happens, right?
Oh man. Hey, you get a little bit older, man, and you gotta hold a little bit more.
Right. And he just, hey, he had a hell of a career, but he's no longer in the prime. And I think our starting corners are pretty much set. And, I don't think Josh Norman will be one of them. Jag says, ultimate team win. Everyone left it out on the field. Seems to me that Shanahan has everyone believing in each other. Hey, absolutely.
Real talk.
Absolutely. Luke Luna says, for sure, man, they didn't call the palm and forearm to the helmet of Jimmy either on the INT. And the ref was right there. Doesn't matter if it was hard. It's not allowed at all. Hey, I agree. If that would have been Tom Brady, hey, that player probably would have got kicked out the game, man. So, you got to make those calls. There's no contact to the head of a player, specifically a quarterback when he's, throwing. So, KD says, I just heard that Arizona beat Cowboys by running the ball. Okay, hey, then that means, the 49ers have a blueprint on how to beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys better be ready because it's definitely going to be, ground and pound. That's for sure. Double L says, Jay, even Keltz knows I was sweating when we fell behind. I messaged him at halftime to switch, but I had no problem giving Jimmy his flowers on the second half. It was clutch, period. No, I agree. If without Jimmy's, some of those throws, without some of those drives, there's no way we would have won this game without, Jimmy. That's for sure. Jimmy definitely deserves his props. Luke says, I'll tell you right now, after that comeback, this team is inspired. Jimmy believes, and I trust him more now after a gritty win like that than I had before. Hey, Keltz, do you trust Jimmy more now after that performance?
Oh, man. Do I trust him more? Let me really try to break that question down to myself. I don't trust him more. I don't trust him less. I don't think my opinion of Jimmy will ever change. I truly view Jimmy G as right in the middle pack of a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I believe. That's what I see. That's what my eyes see. You could go anywhere from, when he's doing really well, you could go anywhere from 12 to 25. You know, it depends what Jimmy you're really gonna. And 12, that's being generous, to be honest. So I really don't trust him anymore. I don't trust him any less. Like, I believe he can play a super clean game at any given moment. And then I believe he could play a game where he makes a few mistakes and it could cost us. So it just really depends, what Jimmy we're gonna get, man. I don't ever see him just being the main reason why we came out victorious. And I know it's a team sport. I know it's a team game. You have to have every single, mostly in the trenches. We got the O-line locked down. We got the D-line locked down, and we can win versus anybody. I think tonight was a prime example of that, of the O-line, special teams, run game. Jimmy did have his part. If Jimmy didn't make some of those throws and do some of those things, we wouldn't have won. But who knows how much his mistakes put us in that hole. So it's kind of, my opinion's always going to be the same about Jimmy. I think the only way my opinion would change about Jimmy is if, like, we were in
number 6.
If we were in the playoffs and he solely just kind of took a game over and just like, just really, I might be like, but after 4 or 5 years, you are who you are. It should be an honor to be a top 15, 20 quarterback. There's only 32 quarterbacks in NFL. So I'm not saying that in a hating kind of way. He's an average quarterback on a really good team.
I mean, it's no doubt. Jimmy G, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the world. He's one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the world. There's no doubt about that. And hey, I like how you said that. Jimmy is who he is. And after 4 or 5 years, we draft a quarterback. We trade 3 draft picks up to get him. There's a reason why we did that, partly because of Jimmy G not being able to stay healthy. But got to give Jimmy his props. He played pretty well. And we're going to need him to continue to play like this, minus those turnovers against Dallas. NYCE says, Jay, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. Can you explain that to David Renteria? LOL. Cards sure didn't finish well. I know. It did not finish well at all. We'll see what effect that has when they play against the good old LA Rams. Word is in the house. What's good? Looks like he does not agree that we will be able to get a first-round pick for Jimmy G. Looks like he does not agree with that. NYCE, 25 mil is minimum wage for a starting quarterback. You're probably right, but and the salary cap is weird. He could make 25 mil a year, but his cap hit could be significantly less than that. It's really convoluted and it's really weird. But just because a player makes $25 million a year, that doesn't necessarily mean that's his salary cap hit. But if a team trades for Jimmy, I think they will definitely sign him to a multi-year contract extension to bring his cap number down. John looks like agrees with you, Keltz. Jimmy G is clutch half the time. That being said, my favorite clutch Jimmy moment was against the Saints in 2019. Hey, that's Jimmy's claim to fame, man.
Man, please prove me. Please make me trust you, Jimmy Garoppolo. Please make me trust you, man.
JR Meadows is in the building. What's good? JR says Super Bowl 56. The road starts now, man. Hey, appreciate you for tuning in to the stream, JR. And Keltz, what a pleasure, man. I'm glad that we were finally able to link up. And like I said at the beginning of the show, man, you're an up-and-coming YouTuber. You love the faithful, the Niner Empire. And it's good to see your channel continue to grow, man. For those that don't know Keltz Chronicles, what can they expect from you and your social media platforms, your YouTube? What can they expect from you in the future, man?
I'm going to be hopping on as much as I can, man, talking to 49ers, man. I love the 49ers. I'm born and raised in the Bay. It's always been a passion of mine. I come from a hard place, my childhood. And so they were always a place of peace for me. But then I was also able to let my aggression out playing on the field, man. I played a little high school football, always played. I still play to this day. I get together with a group of people in my community and we get some games going on. So I love to play it, watch it, draw up plays. Been a faithful my whole entire life, man. Jerry Rice has always been my idol. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be doing some live streams. I welcome anybody who is respectful and wants to put their opinion down. I welcome anybody to come through. I'll be having some live streams. Hopefully I could get to more games. I don't know about during the playoffs on the road, but, I'm going to just be putting out as much as I can. Whenever my heart speaks on it, I'm going to try to put it on video, my man. I really appreciate you, Jay and the Bay. You've always been a supporter of mine from the first moments I started. You've always reached out to me. I think you're doing a heck of a job. I see a lot of YouTubers, man, to be honest, that talk down on other YouTubers. One thing that I try to say something on my last live video, be you and don't let anybody dictate who you are. If you're a kind, good person, don't let this crazy world dictate you feeling like you might need to cuss or might need to be in the cool group of guys or something, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of guys out there that like to do some hating for whatever reason. And so, you know what I'm saying? Not just me, but I hear it swirling around in the YouTube world. This is the world it is, man. But I appreciate you, Jay and the Bay, my man, regardless, and keep doing your thing, man, because I've seen you grow from, just tremendously, bro. So, it's a beautiful thing, man. Hopefully we can all rise up together as 49er faithful, learn how to, put our differences aside, whether it be Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, this guy versus that guy, or this, you ain't a real fan, or you're not a real, enough with all that, man. Hey, we all love our faithful, man. We got the victory today. Let's go.
Hey, absolutely, man. And I will be continuing to check out your content, man. When I watch your videos, you're very passionate. And I love how you said, man, just be yourself. Some people will rock with you, some people won't, but that shouldn't change what you do as long as you're speaking from a passionate place. And I definitely get that when I watch your videos, man. I'm looking forward to more of your content. And thank you for coming on my platform, Jay and the Bay, man. I appreciate it. And hey, man, I'm looking forward to that Cowboys game next week. But other than that, man, I appreciate you for coming on. And let's see, you have a good rest of the start to your work week on a Monday tomorrow, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. You stay blessed, my man.
Same to you, man. All right.
Yee.
All right. That was Keltz Chronicles, man. Up and coming YouTuber, talks about the faithful, the Niner Empire, man. Glad to have him on. We have been, just watching each other's videos, but this is the first time we were able to link up with each other, talk about the Niners. So it was definitely good to do that. Check out Keltz Chronicles on Facebook, YouTube, IG, Twitter. Check him out. Just type in Keltz Chronicles. You'll find him. But man, this has been a great live stream. Shout out to everyone who gave a super chat. Shout out to everyone who left comments in the stream. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the back and forth dialogue. Let's see. Let me just see. John gave a super chat. Appreciate you, John. Corey Davis, Luke Luna, Jag. Jag did another one. Appreciate that, Jag. Let's see. Yeah, so I think that was it for the super chats, but I appreciate everyone tuning in and contributing one way or another to the stream. Let's see. NYCE says, great show. Jay and Keltz will definitely follow y'all and continue to grow. Appreciate that, NYCE. John says it's playoffs time. Don't no one want to face us? Let's go, faithful. Great stream, Jay and Keltz. I subscribe to you as well. All right, man. I will let Keltz know, man. Appreciate that, John. Luke says this is Jimmy's last game. This playoff game is his to win or lose. He brought us out of the mud. He earned it to fight one last time with his teammates before he hands the reins to Lance for good. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I agree with that. Have a good night as well. Double L. He says, happy you get to cover some playoffs, my dude. Hey, I am too, man. I was not looking forward to the 49ers season ending, especially like this against a division rival. So I'm glad that the season will continue. Looking forward to facing off against some good old Dallas Cowboys in Dallas next week. Looking forward to that. But everyone have a good start to your work week. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. I will see you guys in the next one. Hey, what's good? Damian Lee, he says, I get my wish. Niners versus Cowboys. I can't wait. Cowboys got a lot of firepower on both sides of the ball. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. The rivalry is renewed. Niners, Cowboys, so much history. Can't wait for the game. Everyone have a good start to your work week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.